Hey guys, it's Dr. Christie, and I'm here with Mikayla. She is another one of my favorite rock star moms who I think you also struggle with feisty mom syndrome like I do.
Yep.
Yeah. So she has an awesome story to share with you guys. I think there are way too many kids in this world who can't communicate the way that they need to. That they've got something trapped inside their cute little brain, and they can understand what you're saying. They hear everything, they know what's going on, but they can't actually get it out into words to tell you. And so it turns into frustration, it turns into anger, it turns into self-esteem issues. And she's got a little guy that needs to be shared. His story needs to be shared because I think you were probably at a pretty big loss with what to do with that little guy. And so many other moms do that where they're like, I don't know what to do right now because I'm trying my very best as a mom. And he can't tell me what he wants, so now he's extremely frustrated and hurting himself. Yep. Tell these guys about Easton.
So Easton was 2 years old when we started noticing some issues that we were having. He had a very quick birth. I didn't have to push with him. He just kind of came out. And with that came a lot of medical issues that we were back and forth from Salt Lake, which came antibiotics and creams and biopsies, ultrasounds, MRIs, I mean, you name it. We went through it. And
ton of stress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when he was about 1.5 years old, we noticed he wasn't talking. He was very angry. He didn't know how to show emotion. He didn't feel pain. And he was a self-beater, as I like to say. He would get so frustrated with himself that he would beat himself until he had bruises. He would scratch his eyes, scratch his arms. He would bang his head on walls, on floors, on his sister, you name it. And he was just very, very angry.
Poor little guy. I remember when he first came in. We heard him. We heard him first come in, but you're talking about a little guy that just never shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
His fight or flight, sympathetic nervous system was on full bore. I mean, he was like sweaty and red and clammy. His hair was like
dripping.
Yes. He wanted to play with his toy, and his sister wanted to play with the toy, but forget about it. It was like eggshells because his communication was screaming.
Yep.
So then she just didn't want to touch it, and I could tell that the whole family kind of had to accommodate around this little guy that was just trapped, like seriously trapped inside of his body.
Absolutely.
So his first little bit of time, I think he was here every single day. Was he here every single day?
He was here, 4 to 5 times a week.
Yeah, and I don't know that we ever adjusted him in the same location.
Nope.
Because we had to chase him around quite a bit.
Yes.
And try to get his little body to start to feel things first. Because I think what people don't even know either with, like, why would a child self-beat? It's a form of sensory seeking.
Yep.
So there's some sensory avoiders and there's some sensory seekers. He was looking for some sort of sensory input, and it came out that way. There's some other kids that'll tackle other children and beat them. So it was one of his forms of communication, but also trying to feel the world around him. So tell them about the first 3 weeks in here, because I think that people need to know what happens when someone's got stress trapped inside their body.
Our first 3 weeks was rough. And it was hard on us because we thought, we found this missing link. It's going to be great. Like, it's going to be better. It's going to get great fast. And it actually got a lot worse. The tantrums were longer. He wasn't sleeping, even more so than he wasn't sleeping before. His night terrors got worse. He wasn't eating, wasn't going to the bathroom. And about 3 weeks into it, the tantrums and everything were still there, but the little things would change. He felt bad for when he would hit his sister. He felt bad when he hit us. He started showing different emotions than angry. Like, he'd get sad if he hit himself. He would say, ow, and he never said ow because it didn't hurt.
Oh,
and that's when things started changing, and now he cuddles and he hugs and he says, I love you, and he's talking, and I mean, he's just such a happy little guy.
He's got his own smile.
Yeah.
Just like this. But I do remember because when he had come in and you had said, he started feeling bad and stopped hitting the baby, or feel bad if he did. And one of the things that we talk about in our office all the time is when there's stress trapped inside their body, it doesn't disappear. It has to dissipate. So they watch that thing come out fast and furious for 3 weeks. And so they're looking at me like, are you sure this is really a good thing? It's a fantastic thing, but just buckle up, because it was about a year ago now and around Christmas time.
A year ago, yep.
So Now, looking at him, he came in, sat down, played with toys, had a conversation with me.
Yep.
You could understand what he's saying, and even if you can't quite understand a word, he's not frustrated about it. He wants to tell you, this is what I want, and I've loved having a little dude.
Us too. That's been awesome.